Welcome to the Glenn Beck program. I am so excited today. As you may not, if this is your first day watching the show, you may not know. I'm a right-wing warmonger who just wants to gobble up all the oil in the Middle East. That's all I want to do is just take people's resources. And we've gone a whole 3 months since we started a new war. And I was totally jonesing, man. I was looking for a vein. I need some more kinetic military action, man. I need it. And then today I got up and I read this headline. The Obama administration is intensifying the American covert war in Yemen. Did you know we were in Yemen? Oh, that's right, it's covert. Exploiting a growing power vacuum in the country to strike at militant suspects with armed drones and fighter jets. Well, that's fantastic. That's war number 4, hate mongers. War number, count 'em, 4. And it's a covert war, too. I like the secret wars. Congress, did you guys know about that one? No? Who's feeling a little out of the loop today? You are, yeah. No wonder Anthony Weiner had all that time to chat online and take pictures of himself. Oh, Congress is completely irrelevant, aren't they? The other thing I've been waiting for, haven't seen it yet, I thought war number 4 might push people over the edge today, but where are all the anti-war protesters? You remember those guys? I think we need to put an Amber Alert out for them, because they might have been kidnapped, they might be in danger. Because surely those lefties would be out there holding protests against yet another war.
Impeach now! Impeach now!
Wake up, America! Bring the troops home! Wake up, America! Bring the troops home!
Not $1! Not one more!
Wow.
Don't you dare!
I could work my whole life and not be that big of a loser, but God bless them. The Code Pinks, the international answers. Where are you? I mean, besides in Spooky Dude's pocket, where are you? I'm concerned. I hope you're okay. Also, does anybody really know what side we're supposed to be on in Yemen? I mean, are we with the government or are we against the government? I'm not really even sure. Can I ask you this question? Has there ever been any kind of military action in America where you're not really sure? I don't think I've ever seen a war, ever, where you're like, I don't know, are we for the Germans or against the Germans? Why the silence? Here's why. Do you remember the Weather Underground, the manifesto? We showed you this about a year ago. We showed you this manifesto, and I said to you, whoa, if you read this thing, it's exactly what this country's doing now from the administration. Let me just read this again. 1969. The strategy which flows from this is what Che called creating 2, 3, many Vietnams. Che was so clever when he was naming things. To mobilize the struggle so sharply in so many places that the imperialists cannot possibly deal with it all, since it is essential to their interest. They will try to deal with it all, and it will be defeated and destroyed in the process. I just want to point out, creating many Vietnams and entangling us in wars, key point, to defeat and destroy the imperialists. That's us. Now, what did the president say just last week when he was speaking in front of Chrysler? Listen carefully.
There's still some headwinds that are coming at us. Lately, it's been high gas prices.
Speed bumps.
That have caused a lot of hardship for a lot of working families. And then you have the economic disruptions following the tragedy in Japan. You've got the instability in the Middle East, which makes folks uncertain.
Yeah. Makes it. You got that last one? Okay. Gas, he controls. Oil, he's got that one. We're not really looking for anything. The other headwind, Japan, that's God's territory. And then, or at least now, until Cass Sunstein starts to regulate God. And then there was the last one, the instability in the Middle East. He says it causes uncertainty. Is that true? Absolutely. So it's hurting the economy. You got that? Instability in the Middle East hurts the economy. Let's now look at the president, how he's handled the uncertainty. Here he is.
The people of Egypt are calling for change. They've turned out in extraordinary numbers representing all ages and all walks of life. But it's young people who've been at the forefront.
People just like you. Do you remember
New
that?
generation.
New generation. Just like you.
Your generation.
Your generation.
Who want their voices to be heard.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Let's get the marching band out and encourage youth all over the world to stand up. If you remember right, he even compared the guy who set himself on fire in Tunisia to Rosa Parks. So that headwind might be coming from all of the hot air that he's blowing or all the stuff that he's sucking. He's engaging Libya in a war that he promises is going to last days, definitely not weeks. And here we are, 81 days later. How many days in a week? 85? Not sure. 81 days later, 20 days since the War Powers Act has expired. He promised no boots on the ground, and there are several reports that, yes, Americans have boots on the ground. Now, I don't know if we just dropped boots, but I'm pretty sure there might be feet and legs and people in those boots, but I'm not sure. The only reports we're getting are from that White House tried and true source, the jewel of journalism, Al Jazeera. And now the president has started another covert war going on in Yemen. Sounds like some of the headwinds of destabilization are coming from this White House. He's acknowledged uncertainty is hurting our economy. So why is he continuing to make choices that lead to more uncertainty? America, I think we're headed for real trouble because the excuses are not working on the American people anymore. He's starting to do that whole, no, these aren't the droids you're looking for. And nobody's buying it. The fundamental transformation of America, changing America into something other than it always has been, is the goal, always has been the goal of this administration. There are enemies inside and outside the gates of our country. Tonight, I hope to arm you with information so you can be part of the solution and not part of the problem, and certainly not part of the brain-dead sheep that will say, when did all this happen? The number one question asked of me is, now what? Now what? Tonight, I'm going to introduce you to a guy who I think is spookier than I am. Yeah, only because he knows exactly why he's right. Coming up. Oh, hello, America. According to a new Rasmussen poll, only 24% say they have similar views as President Obama. 24%. Even among Democrats, only 45% say they have similar views to President Obama. Only 13% say Obama was more conservative than them. Wow. Did they bring Che back to life? There's another poll. 48% in a CNN poll believe we are headed for a Great Depression within the next 12 months. Remember, Obama just said he's not even worried about a double-dip recession. Only 24% share that view, and that number has plummeted 15% in just the last few weeks. So here's my question. How long will the advice to prepare be ridiculed and mocked? I lived in Florida for a while. I lived through a couple of mild hurricanes. I lived in Tampa. When a storm is coming, you board up the windows. Even if you suspect the storm's not going to, hit you directly, if it's coming in your direction, you board the windows up. You prepare just in case. I can't imagine anybody in Joplin that had a storm cellar that said, you know what, I'm going to sit out here on the roof and just watch the pretty sky. You go into the storm cellar. Do we not learn anything from our grandparents? They used to can food this time every year. Have you gone to BJ's and bought some extra groceries yet? I have this crazy belief that this audience will be the difference between success and failure ultimately in America. This audience, with my radio audience, internet and television, the footprint is about, they tell me, 30 million people a month. That's a lot of people. Now, what you do, the choices you make as individuals and then as a collective, what you read, what you learn, how you prepare, how you wake other people up, That's going to make a difference. And you have to realize that not everyone is going to wake up. They never do. But it is time to launch the lifeboats, gang. We have to get to a safe harbor and come back for the rest as the water starts to creep up around their ankles. We are at this program at the last 14 days of broadcast here at Fox. It has been an amazing ride. And people have asked me, okay, what are you going to do next? Why are you leaving Fox? Why are you going to... Because I believe, first of all, we've captured lightning in a bottle here. But it is time now for me to change what I do and be much more specific and roll up my sleeves. Specific on the things that we can do together to save our country. Over the remaining broadcast time that we have here at Fox, we are going to go over some of those things. And you can go to glennbeck.com for any more additional information on how to be a part of a solution. We are Americans, and we need to be those people of Wilmington and Joplin. When, and God forbid, if tragedy comes, tough times will come. But the people in Joplin and the people in Wilmington, they didn't just sit around and wait for the FEMA trucks to bring in some food. People came from near and wide to help. We did it together as Americans. Individuals did it, one by one. People who didn't even have a clue, they just said, I got to get into the car, I've got to go help. Some people loaded their car with groceries, some people were leaders, other people just were hands to help. We have to stop looking to the R's and the D's for our solution. Skip the middleman. It's not the way the system is structured in life anymore. Stop wasting time trying to call the switchboards at Congress. They're very busy doing whatever it is they now do behind closed doors. Maybe some of them are texting, I'm not sure. I hear one of them is a very good photographer. I wonder if maybe it's time to stop painting more signs, unless those signs say, help this way. You have to begin preparing for the storm, but not just for you or for your kids or grandkids, but for your neighbors and community. And if the storm doesn't come or if it bypasses us, oh well, we'll all be stronger for it. And if it does come, you will be a lifeboat for others, a shelter for others. America needs leaders, not sheep. We need people who are ready to get to work. Of that 48% who now believe a Great Depression is coming in the next 12 months, of that 48%, how many have boarded up their own windows? How many have done anything to prepare? And how many are just saying, yep, I think one's coming? There are a lot of people who say that they don't know how. That's one of the things we're going to try to address tonight. But you can begin by learning the lessons of our grandparents and our great-grandparents. You do the simple things. You don't have to bring 5 random families into your house and cook dinner for them every night. You think of Joplin. People came in and donated what they could. They helped in whatever possible way they could. A shirt, a meal, water, a teddy bear. You start with what you can control, and you can control yourself. Be better at your job than anyone else in your company. Be the man or woman who's the last one to be fired because they just can't afford to lose you. And trust me on this one, because I've learned this myself. Get over yourself. You're not as good as you think you are. If you own a small business, don't cut corners. Do the right thing for your customers. Do the right thing for your employees. Be on the up and up, not only in business, but all personal life as well. Learn from Anthony Weiner. Be honest in all of your dealings. Know history and know the Constitution. Understand what it is and what it created. The miracle of freedom really is just that, a miracle. I started reading this book over the weekend. The Miracle of Freedom, the 7 tipping points that saved the world. This thing is unbelievable. It's one of the best history books I have read. This should be on everyone's shelf. It only takes, it talks about in this, it only takes about 5% in all of human history. 5% of human history have ever lived under any kind of free conditions. Only 5% have ever experienced it. 95% have been slaves. We are letting this slip through our fingers because we've grown lazy, stupid, apathetic, or too trusting of people in power. Wake up. Know the Constitution. What if 48% of the people are right? And we do slip into a Great Depression. I think, honestly, it could be a Great Depression because the longer you prop something up, the deeper the problem becomes. We showed you earlier this week all the economic and housing stats that are actually worse now than they were in the Great Depression. We probably would have hit a Great Depression at the TARP point. What does it look like today? But if they are right and the economy tanks or even worse, what happens then? What happens when grocery stores either have no food or it's so expensive that no one can afford it? What happens when unemployment and energy prices necessarily skyrocket, to quote the president? Have you ever seen a grocery store when you say a snowstorm is coming or a hurricane is coming? The shelves are wiped out. Shelves are empty. People can laugh at you or at me all they want. I don't care anymore. How many days do people go without food or money before they begin acting erratically? James Carville said civil unrest, if the economy keeps tanking, is imminently possible. I agree with him. He is right, even though he called me a crazy man when I said the same thing over a year ago. When unrest hits home, as it will we be the people of Joplin and take care of ourselves without waiting on the government? Or will we turn on each other and will we beg the government to do whatever they have to do to save us, take care of us, and inevitably control us? We have to be more free at the state and local level. We have to be more independent. And dare I say it, we have to be more religious, but religious in the way Ben Franklin talked about religion. In 1790, Yale University asked him, "What is the American religion?" And he said, "Here is my creed. I believe in one God, creator of the universe, that he governs it by his providence, that he ought to be worshiped, that the most acceptable service we can render to him is doing good to his other children." Gang, that is the American religion. That's it. It's not happenstance that we're the most charitable nation to ever walk the face of the earth. It's our American religion. We have to find that within ourselves and prepare to be that greatest American generation yet again. Tonight, I want you to meet a guy who is, I think, one of the smartest guys out there. You will meet him and you will be, at first, you'll be like, "Oh no, please make him stop talking because he scares the crap out of me." And then you'll be glad you met him because I think he's going to help you clarify in your mind what's coming, and possibly it'll give you some ideas on some things that you can do. You'll meet him when we come back.